Welcome back to the Belted Galloway Homestead. We've added a couple German Shepherds to the homestead, and that brought up the need to find some way to keep them around the house and safe. So right now we've had them on leashes, and I put them on some cables with a screw out there in the middle of the yard. But I got to come up with a better confinement system. So we were looking up some of the wireless fences, and I thought first the PetSafe one with the wireless system would work, but I want them to be able to access the sheds, and our house also has metal siding, so that won't work. So keep that in mind if you're going to go with one of those with the radio frequency and the circle, and that it won't work. So we went with a wired one. And the one we decided to go with was one called an extreme dog fence. And there's various reasons why we went with that. But just wanted to do a video to explain why we chose that, and also the process of putting that containment fence in the ground. So this is the system that we decided to go with, the extreme dog fence. The loop wire is 14 gauge, which is one of the heaviest on the market that we can tell. Also, the twisted pair is a pretty heavy gauge, and this kit also comes with a surge protector and some comfort tips for the dog. Seems like a pretty good system. A couple things that I didn't like about it was the proprietary battery, and then the collar just quite didn't look heavy duty enough. My dogs have a tendency to wrestle, and I fear that they may damage that collar. So the sidewalk edger that I put on my steel weed whacker is really not cutting it, so I went out and rented this edger that's made for cutting a groove, a 1/2 inch wide by 3 inches deep, they say, to put the cable in the ground. I got the trenching done for the perimeter wire. It's going to be coming through woods there a little bit, and then here's where I'm going to be connecting my twisted wires to go to the control panel out there on my farmer's panel. So got that done. Got the wire here. I end up purchasing Extreme Dog Fence Max. It's a 14 gauge. $1,500 foot. I think that's around 2 acres. So start getting this put in, and got some clips. Staple it down into the trench. We'll have a dog fence soon. Well, it's coming along. I made up a little buggy here to hold my tools, my flags, and my staples. I come through here with a mower and a skid steer, so I want to try to keep this as low as possible in the ground. Let me show you a real good reason to rent that trencher. Look at that root. That trencher cut right through that root. That root's every bit of 3 or 4 inches. So it cut right through that, where I'd have had to get a chainsaw or an axe or something, but it just ground right through it. So we'll keep going. A little rainy and a little stormy this morning, but getting done. Putting the wire in the trench. About ready to call it quits. Starting to rain a little harder. I got an audience. Always want to know what's going on. There's the Gracie and the Maddox. There's the Gracie. And where's the Wendy at? Let's see. Wendy's over here. There's Wendy. Boy, she's growing up to be a beautiful calf. And here comes Fancy. I decided to put it in the edge of the woods so the dogs could have the full yard to run in. And it's a little thick in this area. It's about the worst of it. But got the trencher through, and now I'm laying the wire and with the pins, pinning it periodically. So keeping at it. I can't wait to be done so the German Shepherds can start using it. Here's a little tip that I found that helped me. It's really dry in Minnesota. We've got a drought condition, and I noticed that the soil, some of the soil fell back into the groove when it was getting cut. If it was wetter, I think it would have held up there and clumped up there, but I found this. It's a pry bar, and it's the width of the trench, so it helps get in there and clean that out if you want to make sure you get your proper depth. And then I found that it also, on the staples, it has this nail puller gap here, and it fits right on that. And you have this pad for your palm, and then you can take and push these staples right down with that. And I just found it was just a helpful tool, helpful tip if you're going to do this yourself. Well, I got the loop all the way around, about 1,300 feet, and the twisted pairs here. So it's time to make those connections. Gauge wire. Strippers there make it a little easier. Just a little bit more. Doesn't really matter here which one. I have never used these before. Interesting. Got some grease or something in there. It'll stick in there like so. Got the wires coming out on both sides. Like so. So these are your loop, and you don't want doubles there because you could create a dead spot where the dogs can pass. And so I'm going to bring them back this way, bring them into here. So we got their loop and that. If you have a double run, you can cancel out that signal. And the dogs may find it one day if they can get through there. All right, let's go finish up the electrical box now. So the electronics, controller and the surge protector and such, needs to be in a dry area. Can't be outside in the rain. So I do some yard selling every now and then, also some flea marketing. And I picked up this Hoffman box, electrical enclosure, plastic, got the seal on it. Thought it'd come in handy maybe for a fence charger at some point to mount inside, but this would work great for this this controls for this dog fence. And I got me some conduit here to come out of the ground for the twisted pair that's going to go up into the box, and then I'm going to mount it here on my farmer's panel, on the back of the farmer's panel here, to for a place for it to hang. And I got power right out here I can plug it into, so I'll get to mounting that. Looking good so far. Brought in a little jumper there to provide the power. I did notice that the power light is not on the surge protector, but I do have power over here to the control panel, so I'm gonna call them and check on that just to make sure. But it looks like it's running. I'm gonna go with the factory settings that came with the unit. That 10 there means you got 5 feet on each side of the wire loop, and then the beeping sound when the pet approaches the wire there. You can hear that beep. So far so good. Be able to close this up, and it'll be waterproof. Got the twisted pair coming down into the ground there, protected from digging for flowers or weed whacking. And I'll keep an eye on this if I need to silicone around that to keep the bugs out. But other than that, it's just a nice dry place to have all these controls here for the dog fence. Next step is to go around the perimeter, the loop that you installed into the ground, and put these flags in to give the dogs a visual of where the limit is, and then also they'll have the beeping audio sound from the collars. I'm just going every so often and putting the little flags. Are still kind of curled up, but as you get to that, you can hear that. It's the second day of training, and the shepherds know where the boundary is. On the first day of training, did a lot of walking around with the leashes. Did a lot of going up and hearing the beep and then pulling them back and Then they learned that, and then they each had to test it. Each of them got shocked, and then they seemed to put the visual of the flags and the groove in the ground and the audio of the beep together. And man, are they smart. They go up there. A lot of times they won't get even close enough for the beep, but a lot of times they'll go up there and they'll circle. They'll hear the beep, and then they'll come back. And there you go. The Belties are wondering what these things are, and they're wondering what the Belties are. So it's kind of funny. And well, you can see Maddox over there. He's telling them, come on in the pasture. These Belties. Good cattle, good watch cattle, making sure everybody's safe and the calves are safe, and then now some German Shepherds for the homestead. So it looks like everybody's getting along fine, and everything's going great. I got them off the leash, got them off the cables. They're out here running around. Day 2 of training, and I wouldn't recommend that for all dogs. These German Shepherds are just pretty darn bright, and so I'd if you're going to do one of these, follow the instructions. Take as long as it takes for your dog, but these dogs, man, second day they're there going around. I'm taking them around the border, and they're doing great. The edger worked really good. There's some areas in taking through the woods was kind of tight, and having to struggle with it, but cut roots. That's the nice thing is, man, I cut some big roots in the ground with this thing. So I would recommend it. If you're putting a fence in the ground, go get you an edger. And wow, I did around 1,500 feet in an hour or two, pretty fast.